Welcome everybody to another episode of Non-Fungible News. Today we have the pleasure of sitting down with Enigius. Did I say that right?
Yes, you're right.
Enigius from Metatun. It's crazy, you know. We're a bunch of grown people buying babies and gonna be using them in their game. So before we jump in, if you wouldn't mind hitting the like, thumbs up, and subscribing to the channel as we keep on bringing more and more of this dynamite content to the VFam and also to the greater NFT community. So anyway, that's enough of that. How are you doing today, my friend?
Yeah, I'm great. It's a Sunday morning for me. Yeah, it's a beautiful morning here.
And you're in Singapore, right?
Yeah, I'm based in Singapore.
Awesome. Isn't this amazing? I'm in the west coast of the United States, and it is 6 p.m. here, and you got 9 a.m. in Singapore. So this is just amazing that we were able to make this work. So let's just get into a little bit of your project. So first off, can you give us a little background of yourself and the team and how many people are on your team and just kind of a quick overview of you guys?
Okay. I myself, I'm NHS. I'm actually part of the founding team. The founding team of 4 main members. So I'll introduce myself first. I'm actually an investor. I started as an investor on Solana, on Metatun, or rather an earlier collection from the same team called Atune. And back then it was a PFP project. And then I was on board as a moderator, and slowly, you know, I got more involved in the team, and I become a kind of like a project manager and corporation manager for the team. And then we have the main founder, VeChainThor. He's an artist, front end and full stack engineer, and a token economist. And then we have another software developer that does most of our blockchain development and the website, basically Web3 stuff. Then we have Petfish, who is actually our main promotion and support for the whole team. Yeah, doing all sorts of work, and also a voxel artist. Yeah, and then we have the rest of the member, Juan, Meow, Dylan, and recently we had Novel, who's on the team to do some support and moderation in the Discord channel. Yeah.
So is your core team all based in Singapore, or are you guys working with each other from around the globe as well?
The core team is based in Singapore. Yeah. So that's why sometimes, you know, there's a gap there whereby the Discord channel, most of us will be asleep. Yeah. We realize a lot of our members are actually from the US or the Europe time zone, which is why we got Juan, who is based in Germany, and then we got Novo, who is based in right now based in Dubai. Different time zones to help us manage our members.
Yeah, because this never sleeps. Discord's never shut down. Crypto never stops, and we're always wanting it, and we're always wanting it right now. So it's important to have those people in different time zones, right?
Yeah, that's part of globalization.
So what about the project Metatun itself? What kind of inspired the game, the art, kind of the whole package deal?
Okay. Like I said, before Metatun, I briefly mentioned we had a series. The same team has a series called Atune, 3D voxel characters. and they rolled it out as a 3D profile pic project. Yeah, and back then that was like, I don't know, October last year, and that was when the NFT start getting traction, especially on other blockchains, and they started something. It was a complete sold out, was very popular, and back then, how to they were thinking of how to sustain the project and create a community and help the team fulfill their goal of getting more involved in the blockchain and providing more utility to the ecosystem. That's where they thought of why not come out with a game. And the concept of baby is basically there's this story whereby there's a scientist who have invented something, and then there's a rich lady asking what's the use of this for, and this scientist actually replied, what's the use of a baby? Yeah, so what he meant was that every invention, every innovation starts from being a baby, and there's a lot of potential in a baby that people don't see at the start. And the baby we're referring to is actually the crypto market, the NFT market. Yeah, so that's why there's this baby concept that we started with. Yeah, and we started to have baby sets to flesh out a greater vision and purpose, which is actually to have a gaming platform with the NFT community and bring in all the different projects together, bring all the players together to be in a larger community, or you could refer to it as a Metaverse. Yeah, we actually got the idea before Metaverse became very popular, before Mark Zuckerberg rant about Metaverse itself. Yeah, so it's kind of a coincidence that we named it Metatun as well. So anyway, that was how it began. We wanted to unite everybody on the same platform, regardless of the game platform, regardless of the blockchains that they are on, to enjoy the same thing together. Yeah. So
that's pretty interesting and amazing, actually, that you are taking like a real life spin on your project, like the fact that yeah, there is a lot of there's a lot that you can look forward to from starting as a baby. I mean, we were all babies, and now, I mean, look at us. You're developing games and NFTs on the blockchain, and I'm interviewing you all about it. So everybody goes their different direction and finds their strengths, their weaknesses, and so why should it be any different in a metaverse game? So I would have to assume that as time goes on, you will be able to develop your baby, grow it, and go different directions with it.
Yeah. That is limitless. It's up to our imagination, right? Right now, even as we have our roadmap, our charter roadmap for the project, right? We get ideas then here and there from our own team, from our new members, about how to grow the game, how to have new activities, new events, new functionalities, new utility to our game. So I would say, we are actually kind of like expanding the roadmap, and in a project perspective, some people may say it's like a scope creep, but I guess this is a good thing for us exploring the new sector, the NFT sector. So it will sometimes we may expand on new things that that is just useful, and we just hop on it and try it out. Yeah, because we have the backing of the community here to try new things for them, and that's what makes us very excited.
Yeah, I've definitely seen a lot of excitement, a lot of hype out of the community, especially a lot of the kind of the core community members, which is really good to see, especially when somebody's thinking about getting into a project. I mean, yeah, you got to do your own research. Don't base what you're doing off of what I'm doing, and vice versa. But when you see a lot of the big VeChain, VFam community members excited about this, it's definitely something to look into. So the game, can you kind of walk us through what that gameplay is going to look like, so now we all have our babies, and they have different rarities and different traits and everything. So what's it look like when we plug into the game and get to going?
Okay. Would you want me to share maybe some stuff? Maybe I walk through the white paper.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, do I need to allow you to do that?
Yes, correct.
Let's see here. Okay, you should be good.
Yes. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah. Right. So I'll just go through some of the basic stuff. I think the rest, most people, I think you can take a look after this. Yeah. So in our game, right? We started with developing the adventure mode. Yeah. So actually, the adventure mode is the actual play to earn system, whereby it's a player versus environment game, and that allows players to go on 45 minutes duration session every 24 hours to hunt with their pet. So what you can see in this screenshot is actually a character with a random pet that the characters or rather the player selects during the gaming session. So during the gaming session, the player can actually, it's like a hack and slash game, and then there'll be loot, and players can gather resources. Yeah. So I'll go on, to talk about what resources can be done later. Yeah. So of course there will be the weapons, etc. items that players can use in the game to help them. Yeah, in-game upgrades and experience in the game. So during the game session, the player characters will level up and of course becoming more powerful, and likewise enemies become more powerful, but of course, as always, with better rewards for the players once they slay the monsters. Yeah. And after each session, right, the EXP will reset, and the players in the next session, right, will restart the levels again. Yeah. Whatever resources, all these that they have earned from previous session, they will be able to keep it. Yeah. So for I'm sure some of the game drops here. There's an in-game token that you can use. It's like an in-game money, virtual money that is dropped from the monster. They can be used for weapons or buying other stuff like potions in the game. And then there's wood, stone, house blueprints. These are the main materials or resources to build houses. Yeah. So for a start, we talk about what's going to happen later on, right? Which is about logging in with Metatun NFT and claiming land inside the town to construct the home at the later stage. Yeah. So later today, after the players bind their wallets and log in with their NFT, they will be able to claim some land. And of course, the land here you can see there's a list of the rarity, which corresponds to a certain plot size. So basically, the more rare the Metatun that you have, the larger the land size you have. Yeah, and you'll be able to claim a larger land. So, for example, let's talk about legendary, right? Yeah, we have 10 legendary, so there will be only 10 6x6 plot size, which is the largest size of land you can find inside. Yeah, basically big enough for the player to build a castle, to be able to claim the land. And we have 2,000 Metatun, so there will be 2,000 plots of land to go around. So every Metatun would eventually be able to claim a land, but of course it's a first come first serve basis. Whichever land they scouted and lay their hands on and stake the claim, once it's bound to the Metatun, is minded indefinitely. So if they need to transfer the land next time to another wallet, or they sell the NFT, the land that has been claimed or rather tied to the NFT will be also transferred accordingly. Yeah.
Okay.
So of course after that, once you get the land, you'll be able to build different houses based on the blueprint. So for each rarity of the land, you'll be able to build like common house, rare house, epic, and of course the castle, right, based on the blueprint. So there's two designs for each rarity depending on what blueprint you find in the adventure mode. And of course, then that is where you get, when you do the adventure mode, you gather resources to build whichever homes you want based on the blueprint. Yeah. So, and our plan for that's where the P2E comes in. Once you have a house, then this house, of course, the larger it is, it will generate greater passive rewards for the players. Yeah. So in a nutshell, for a start at least, that's how the play to earn works. But of course, there may be random drops of the cryptocurrency itself that inside the game. Yeah. And sometimes we may hold events, all this, to reward players. Like later on, after we open the game, we are also going to start our first treasure hunt for the VeChain community, whereby they will actually, because right now our adventure mode is still under development. It will be out in like probably between mid-June to early July. And before the adventure mode is out, we will hold events such as a treasure hunt that, even though they can't hack and slash function, they can still jump into the game and explore the environment, the land, and have fun finding treasures that will allow them to earn some VET. Yeah. Which
So
is essentially also an earning mechanism. Yeah.
Is that treasure hunt then going to be open every day, 45 minutes for each?
No, the 45 minutes will only be for the the adventure mode.
Okay.
There's no limit. It depends. We'll open a game and players can log anytime they want. And of course, the play will end if there are 3 winners that found the 3 different treasures for this event itself. Yeah.
Okay, so there's 3 treasures in the.
Yes, that's
okay.
Yeah. We've hidden three treasures with 3 different sets of clues or hints in the environment, in the 3D environment of the game.
Okay.
Yeah. So players can they can run around, they can gather. It's not going to be easy, I would say. Yeah, it's going to be tough, but they can always exchange clues. For inside the Discord channel, we'll have a channel, and players can actually share clues or hints, or even sell to each other. I don't know. It's free market. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and of course, so we talked about just now I briefly talked about a pet that accompanies the character, right? So in the game, every time you log on the adventure mode, players will be able to choose between some stock or default pets randomized, yeah, to bring into the adventure session. So for a start, they can bring one, yeah, or sometimes maybe more than one. So we have, like I said just now, we had the previous collection called A-Tune. So owners of A-Tune should be able to bring in more powerful pets as an incentive.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So, and part of roadmap down, we don't have a fixed sum yet. We will also introduce a new series of Metatun pets. So this will be more powerful pets, which is based on the NFT that the players own next time. Yeah. So of course, pets itself also, once we launch, we focus on building on the pets. So they will also have kind of attributes, different attributes, different rarity of pets will come with also different stats, and we make it more interesting, not just the stats. It will be the unique combat skills. Some increase the players' parties, the HP of the player's party by 10%. Critical hit, the regeneration, lifesteal, stun. Yeah. So there will be a lot of different variants of gameplay for players to explore depending on how they want to play the game. Yeah. So hopefully it will make it more interesting. There's more possibilities and permutation of strategies that players can employ in the game. Yeah.
So will these pets be able to still be able to help you like search out, find treasures and different wood and other commodities and whatnot, and they'll also be able to help you attack the monsters and win that way?
More for combat, and lesser for search. Yeah. So we want players to explore. So the pets will mainly serve as a combat companion. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we also have equipment system, and this equipment system, basically is to boost the attack or defense of the basic Metatun. And then likewise, like pet, we will introduce a temporary equipment whereby there's kind of a durability in the game. Yeah. So there will be some Metatuns in inside the series. Out of the 2000, there will be some with traits of weapons that they carry. They'll be able to craft weapons, and they'll be able to actually sell it in the in-game market. So players can actually either buy it from the in-game stores, or they can buy from other players. Yeah.
This is very interesting. So you guys have obviously been working on this for quite a while, I would have to guess.
Yeah. So we have been working on this idea actually since last year. Yeah, late last year. So we're developing the idea around the story, the idea around Metatun to expand the gaming concept and use case. So yeah, I would say we've come a long way. Yeah, we even have plans for another, like we foresee that next time when the world gets, it's an open world, it gets bigger, players will ask for how to more efficiently traverse across this metaverse, right? So we have transportation, yeah, but that'll come later. We even also have kind of a concept or as part of the roadmap to develop like a art gallery for our holders, so they'll be able to showcase their NFT. Yeah. So this is nothing new, but we thought it's something that players eventually would also want to showcase their collection. So it's part of our roadmap.
So how did you, so if you guys originated on Solana with your original PFP collection, how did you guys decide to migrate this game over to VeChain?
Okay. So it's a long story. There's a pull and a push factor. So the push factor actually is that we started at, I don't know, it's kind of a hectic times last year whereby there was a lot of hype and growth at the Solana chain. So I remember back in August, it used to be like there's a one project or two projects launching a week, NFT project, one or two launching a week, and few months later it's like 20 projects launching a week. So there's a lot of speculators, there's a lot of flippers going in, for the hype, and mainly they don't care really whether it's a PFP project or is it a utility project. They're just in for the quick flip. Yeah. So and to actually worsen the situation, we were naive back then. That was a team's first project. We actually gave out like a few hundreds at least of Metatun NFT as a giveaway. So we didn't give the white list. Essentially, you get a Metatun NFT for free. Yeah. So which is why right now we try not to encourage this. Yeah. But anyway, so we give free, and we also set milestones, different milestones that we to promise players that if we don't hit certain sales target, right, we will refund them the amount of cryptocurrency that they paid for the minting. Yeah. So indeed we didn't hit. So what we did was that we refunded all their money and all their cryptocurrency. So essentially people who paid for the mint actually got Metatun for free as well. Yeah. And that was the worst decision that we made. We thought we were giving to the community, Yeah. But it got backfire whereby since people who got whitelist got it for free, people who paid and got refunded and essentially they got it for free, they listed on the market. We were starting to develop the game back then, but there was nothing to show. So there was some major FUD and it went downhill. People listed for like peanuts, way below the mean price on the secondary market. That's why it went downhill and the value of the project dropped considerably. Yeah. So then the team decided that we don't want to give up because we saw a lot of potential and the passion actually is there. So we just spend our own resources to build the game ourselves. Yeah, that's why I think a lot of people actually mentioned, they went to take a look at the Solana Discord. It's very quiet. Yeah, because I can tell you honestly, a lot of bots are in there. Yeah, bots in that were there to actually program to get the whitelist from us. Yeah. Yeah. So we realized that about we couldn't boot them out. Yeah. So and also it's quiet, but there are some few members. There's still a core group of members who actually support us. Yeah, and actually paid for mint after that. Yeah. So one member is actually very instrumental to our move. We talk about the pull factor to VeChain, right? Yeah. So one member, Juan, who is our moderator right now, is from Germany. So he saw the potential, he invested in us, and he actually shared with us about VeChain, and talk about the close knitted community they have in VeChain, and also the low gas fees, all this. So we kind of interested. We read about it, and then that's when we have the idea of doing like a cross, implementing a real cross-chain or multi-chain game. Yeah. So we started to look at a few, and VeChain, the smart contract from VeChain is pretty similar to the Ethereum contract, ERC20 contract. So we thought, it's a good stepping stone for us to actually try to get our hands dirty to talk about multi-chain support, not just talking, but actually doing it and implementing it and showing people, how we could do a multi-chain game. Yeah, and we hope in time to come, it gets popular, we can actually scale on to other blockchains, whether it's an existing blockchain or a new blockchain. Yeah.
Boy, that'd be amazing. That's what everybody wants is cross chain, and it's nice to see that you guys have been welcomed and have built a really good community on VeChain, because we have a good strong community, and it sounds like, I mean, you guys, even when you're on primarily on Solana, you were doing the right things for the right reasons and just kept on pushing, which is good to see, from a collector standpoint, or I guess a flipper standpoint, even, whatever. If you're buying one of these NFTs, you want to know what's, the team's all about. And sounds like you guys are a pretty solid team. So what about just investors, holders that don't really plan on playing the game or getting involved at all in that way? Is there anything, any utility for them, or is it primarily just for people that want to play the game? Obviously, it is a play to earn game. So,
yeah, I get a question. That's a good question, actually. So, taking steps back, I start when people ask, and I internalize the rationale. The rationale, that I always tell people is that essentially we are selling an NFT project. We're selling NFTs that comes with the game, and it's not the other way around. We're not selling a game that comes with NFTs. Yeah, which is a bit confusing because most of the time when the game comes out, especially for us, you see the characters moving. People thought that we are selling the game, right? Because that's the most eye-catching one. Yeah, but people forget that fundamentally, the game aside, we're selling NFT. And essentially, right now, you look at the market that, notwithstanding the game, there are transactions out there. There are a few investors right now who actually made money from buying and selling Metatuns on VC, right? That itself actually, without playing the game, without getting into the game itself, investors are actually kind of have ROI right now just by trading it like a PFP project. Yeah. So that's one, which, I mean, of course, that is nothing new for investors in NFT. Of course, what we want to do is that I think people are familiar with the concept of scholarship, that came from Axie Infinity, right? They made it popular, whereby investors can actually, kind of outsource the farming of rewards to other people. Yeah. So we are looking at it right now. Yeah. So I think that is something that wasn't in our plan initially, but I think we can go towards direction and reward the investors even more. Yeah.
Yeah, because I know there's a lot of people that are just solely investors like myself. I bought one, I minted one so that I can try out the game, and get in. And like Taylor, my partner, he bought them with no intentions of playing the game, but because he just believes in your project, and he's just a hodler. I don't think he's ever sold one NFT in the 8 or 10 months that he's been in it, and probably won't anytime soon, but won't be playing the game either. So that's I'm probably gonna have to work on letting him, or getting him to let me borrow his baby play.
Yeah, why not, right? Since it's there. And also to the investors, I think there is a additional value because of, I would say, investment value or potential in the long term, because we are not developing the game on our own platform. We are riding on big platforms, global platforms, which is essentially Roblox, right? And we know Roblox already has a very huge growing gaming community. Yeah, and nowadays if you read, it's not just young kids playing Roblox. You know, the demographic is expanding. They're getting, you know, older and older generation of people to also playing the game itself. So there is actually a big untapped market for people in that community to actually embrace and jump on to the NFT community, right? And so, for example, you know, there's 2,000 Metatun, and our plan is to not just open the game to the NFT holders, but also to the general public. So, but the difference here is that if you're a general public and you log onto the game and play, right, you won't have that much incentive. Don't talk about the play to earn, but also even the drops, you know, the different cosmetic that they will not be able to get if they don't own a Metatun NFT. And we hope that will incentivize them to actually, you know, start to think about owning an NFT. And that is where the pioneer investors of Metatun would reap the benefits, because it's limited and the new players would have to buy from them, right? Buy from the initial investors, right? Yeah. So yeah, that's the additional investment value that I can propose to our investors here.
Awesome. I love it. I love it all. So we just have a few minutes left, but I did want to ask about the skins that are going to be used in the game. Like, for example, I'm a Hot Banana Club holder, and from what I understand, there's a banana skin that I'll be able to use in the game, and I know there's like a VeChain skin. Looks like there's a Fox skin. So what are those skins, and are they only available to holders of those other NFTs, or is that going to be something for everybody to use as well?
For now, we make it exclusive. So if you read about our third-party cooperation support there, we work with other, because our goal is to onboard and bring different projects together. So and people are very visual. So what's best to actually showcase by having something representative, graphically representative of all these other NFT projects, right? That's why we started working with this project. So for now, the players will have to own both the manager NFT to log on the game, and also partner NFT project. For example, here, what you see, the VFox, you own a VFox, you'll be able to change the skin to a VFox. Yeah. So this is something that's exclusive to the VFox community. Yeah. And in terms of, it's like a win-win. So for both Metatun and VFox to collaborate with us. Yeah. So VFox, the VFox players, you know, they will, or other VFox NFT owners, they'll be incentivized to actually own some NFT. Yeah, and NFT holders who actually find, you know, they like the skin of VFox, they'll be incentivized to actually get a VFox. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it is kind of a win-win for everybody involved. So what are these skins going to do different for the player?
For now, right now, it's cosmetic, more cosmetic than anything. Yeah, it's kind of creating this identity within the game. Yeah, but of course, technically we could have other incentives in the game, but we have to carefully plan that, because we don't want any gameplay mechanism to actually conflict with the existing combat mechanism we have in the game. But just now I show a few, right? Yeah.
Okay, but there's always room for expansion and growth and
Yes.
And all that. So cool. So what are all the skins that you, or all the other NFTs that you've partnered with to put a skin in the game?
Maybe I'll run through. In our Discord channel, we actually have a list of sneak peek. Maybe I'll just briefly share. Hang on. Okay, I'll change the screen a bit. Can you see my Discord?
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the first and foremost we have with Victor or with the Guardians is this cool, samurai with a skull facial. Yeah. And then we also have, like Vikings.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And we have Exo Worlds. So it's basically this. So it's not really a character skin, but it's actually this globe. Exo Worlds are planets, right? Yeah. So it's this planet, circling around. Yeah. Yukio Warriors. We have these 8 samurai, right? Then we have defaults. Bourbonnoids.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and the Hot Banana Club that you asked about. And we have VGems as well.
Oh, cool.
We have VFam Space Club.
Oh, those are awesome.
Yeah. And so this less of project, but VeChain is popular influencer on the VeChain right now. Yeah, and then there's an upcoming one actually, not officially launched yet, but you guys have a sneak peek here. Sonar Punks. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that is what we have developed so far. But there's a backlog. We have been approached by a lot of other projects, existing ones, and even projects that I have not minted. Yeah. So I'm kind of overwhelmed right now. So, but we have to shift focus on launching our main and subsequently the game right now, right? Yeah. So the collaborate has been going slower. I set the pace to be slower so that we can focus. We don't want to, do too much utility for the other project and then we neglect ours, right? What's the point if the game fails? Then there's no point in loading the costumes in the game.
Yep, you can't put yourself on the back burner.
Yeah.
So it's good. It seems like you guys have a good overall a really good team and a really good project and are delivering on your promises. So it's good to see, and I'm glad that I own a Metatun, and I'm excited to jump into the game when it's ready to play. But that's all we've got time for today, but I do appreciate you coming on, and we will have to do this again once gameplay is in full force, and we'll have to check back in and see how things are looking for you then.
Sure, of course.
All right, thanks, man. Well, I appreciate it, and have a good day. Have a good Sunday in Singapore.
Yeah, you too. Have a good evening. Thank you for having me on online here. Yeah.
Yep, we'll talk to you soon.
Next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.